how do I get started? What on earth do I do? Like, how do I go about studying? Tip number 1, know exactly how much time you're working with. This is about finding out the date of your exam, making a note of it, and then working backwards and seeing how many weeks do I have from now, from today, until my exams, or how many days do I have until my exams. And that's important. Knowing how much time you've got to work with is going to be crucial to helping you prepare and try and fit everything in the time you've got. So tip number 2 is make sure you know exactly what it is that could potentially come up in your exam. Each subject has a specification or a curriculum, and you need to make sure you print off your curriculum or you've read through it and you understand that X, Y, Z could potentially be asked of you in an exam. One way you can do that is by going to your teacher or your tutor and saying, can I have a copy of the curriculum? If you're doing GCSE or A-levels, you could easily get the specification or curriculum online. Lots of the exam boards have the curriculums open to anyone to find out. Say for example, you're studying biology, you could Google search GCSE biology AQA curriculum, and Bob's your uncle, you'll come up to the exam board website and you'll be able to search for your curriculum, and that will give you a way to know these are the things that I could potentially be asked in the exam. Tip number 3, find out what you know well and what you don't know so well. So what are the things that you find easy? What are the topics that are easy for you, and what are the topics that are difficult? Identify what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. And one of the easiest ways to do this is to sit a test. That helps you to work out, this is where I need to spend more of my time and this is where I can spend less of my time. Tip number 4, try to find out how you learn best. The traditional way of revising is commonly to read through a textbook or a revision guide and make notes, and then hopefully you would have taken all of that into your head. But the reality is a lot of us can't learn that way. I know me for one, I couldn't learn that way. Even in medical school, I struggled to read through some of the thick textbooks. That didn't mean I failed the exam, but I tried to find other ways that would suit my way of learning. And one of the ways that I used was YouTube. I went on YouTube and I typed in a topic that I didn't understand, and then videos came up from people around the world who were teaching the same material I needed to know for my exams in the UK. Yeah, make a playlist on YouTube. Make a playlist for your subjects and then sub-playlists for the subtopics, and compile a load of videos that are teaching you the topics in your curriculum. Maybe that will really work for you. Another really effective way of learning is learning with friends. You might decide to split up your topics that you need to study between your friends, and each of you will learn a topic yourself and teach it to the other person. So you will learn quite well because you have to understand it well enough to be able to teach it, and that also helps you to remember it yourself. But also, if you're learning from a friend, you might just subconsciously understand it better just because your friend's teaching it and they're breaking it down in a way that you can understand. So why don't you try that as well? And one of the biggest resources we often neglect are our teachers. If you don't understand a topic or you're trying to learn a topic, why don't you book some time with your teacher after school or after a lesson and say, can I speak to you for 10 minutes? If you had a list of things that you'd gone through yourself that you don't quite understand, I'm sure that they would be willing to kind of talk you through it. So make use of your teachers, of your tutors. And tip number 5, now this is a crucial one, and I don't know why lots of us don't do this, but this is like the crux of the matter. Like, we need to make a revision schedule, make a revision timetable. You need to get it out of your head. Don't just think, okay, I know what I'm going to do this week and next week. You need to get it onto paper. Put it onto paper so that you can see visually in front of you, I've got this many weeks until my exam. This week I'm doing this, next week I'm covering that, so that by the time I reach my exam I would have covered all the information, or a majority of the information that could potentially come up in the exam. And when you make your revision schedule, start from the dates of your exam and then work backwards. Block out 1, 2 or 3 weeks before your exams start, and that should be your revision time. That shouldn't be the time when you're going through new things. And trust me, I've been there. I've gone through new things the night before the exam, and sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. But the best practice is really to prepare yourself before the exam, so that 1 or 2 weeks before you can kind of go over things again. And that repetition is crucial to remembering things and being able to recall it in the exam. So we're going to work towards that in these videos, and I'm going to try and talk you through step by step how you can get to that stage. So make sure you tune into all my videos, subscribe to my channel, comment if there's something you want to hear me talk about, and share it with anyone you know who's doing exams right now. Tune into my next video where I'm going to be talking about exactly how to use the timetable that you can download for free.